The cleaning assignment. Leo was not a hero. He was just a cleaner, a janitor on Space Station Echo 9. He cleaned floors, took out trash, and sometimes scrubbed alien goo off the walls. It wasn't exciting, but it paid enough for food and air. Still, today felt different. At 6 a.m., his comm pad beeped. A message flashed on the screen. Special cleaning task, Level 7 Biolab. Wear full hazmat suit. Do not ask questions. Leo blinked. Level 7? That place was restricted. Even scientists didn't go there without permission. Why him? He put on his white hazmat suit, zipped it tight, and walked through the long, cold corridors. The deeper he went, the quieter the station became. The air smelled like metal and chemicals. Finally, he reached the biolab. 2 armed guards stood outside. One of them scanned Leo's badge and nodded. "You're late," the guard said. "Go in. Don't touch anything except what you're told." The heavy door slid open with a hiss. Inside, the room was cold, silent, and dimly lit with blue lights. In the center, a large glass pod stood. It was half filled with thick, glowing liquid like melted stars. Inside the pod, something moved. Leo stepped closer. It was a girl, but not human. Her skin was glowing, faint blue, like moonlight on water. Her hair floated around her head like soft white smoke. She looked young, maybe Leo's age. Her eyes were shut. Her body was covered in some strange, sticky mud. The mud pulsed softly, as if it was alive. A robotic voice spoke from the corner speaker. "Clean the subject carefully. Do not damage the skin. Use only approved tools." Leo's hands shook slightly as he picked up the sponge and soft brushes. He opened a small hatch on the pod and reached in. The liquid was warm. He slowly wiped the mud from her arm. As the layer came off, the skin underneath shimmered, like stars trapped under glass. He had never seen anything so strange or beautiful. Then it happened. The girl's fingers twitched. Leo froze. Her eyes opened. Bright white. No pupils. Just glowing light. Leo stumbled back. The sponge fell from his hand and floated in the air. The girl didn't move. She just stared at him. "Subject is awake," the robotic voice said. "Remain calm. Continue cleaning." Was this a joke? She was alive. Aware. Leo hesitated, then took a deep breath. Slowly, he reached in again, gently brushing more of the mud from her shoulder. The girl's lips parted. She didn't speak, but her eyes followed every move he made. Felt like she was studying him. Suddenly, the room's lights flickered. Red alarm lights blinked on. Warning. Containment breach detected. The robotic voice was louder now. Sharp. Urgent. Leo turned toward the door, but it slammed shut. He was locked in. The girl suddenly lifted her hand. The glowing liquid around her started to swirl, moving with her thoughts. Symbols began to appear on the glass. Strange alien letters made of light. Leo stepped back, heart pounding. "What are you?" he whispered. The girl looked at him, and then he heard her voice, but not through his ears. Inside his head. "Help me. They're lying to you." Leo gasped. His vision blurred. The lights dimmed further. The pod hissed and opened slightly, releasing warm mist into the room. Her glowing skin became brighter. The comm pad on his arm buzzed again. "Leave the room immediately. Do not speak to the subject." But the door was still locked. The girl tilted her head. "They fear me, but I'm not your enemy." Leo didn't know what to believe anymore. Was she dangerous, or just trapped? As he stood there, torn between orders and instinct, the pod fully opened. The girl slowly stepped out. Water dripped from her skin. Her feet touched the cold floor, but she didn't shiver. She looked at Leo, eyes glowing like twin stars. She took one step forward, and then everything went black. Darkness. Leo opened his eyes slowly. His head hurt. The room was spinning. He lay on the cold lab floor, the cleaning tools scattered around him. The alien girl was gone. Only the soft, glowing trail of her footsteps remained on the metal floor. Then, security breach in Sector 7. Subject escaped. All units respond. A loud alarm echoed through the station. Red lights flashed. Guards shouted in the hallway. Leo sat up, confused and scared. What happened? Did she hurt him? He didn't feel pain. No burns, no wounds. Just dizzy. The door finally opened with a hiss. 2 soldiers rushed in and pointed weapons at him. Down. Hands where we can see. Leo raised his hands. I didn't do anything. She just woke up. A tall officer walked in behind them. Cold eyes, sharp voice. You made contact with subject X-17, she said. That wasn't your job. You were told to clean, not speak. She spoke to me. Leo stopped. Should he even say that? Telepathic messages? No one would believe it. The officer nodded to a medic. Take him to quarantine. Full scan. Mind and body. Leo was pulled to his feet and taken away. Hours later, Leo sat alone in a glass cell. White walls. No windows. Cameras watching him. He was angry, confused, but deep inside, curious. Why did she speak to him? Why only him? Just then, the glass door opened. A woman in a lab coat walked in holding a tablet. She looked softer than the others. Leo, I'm Dr. Hannah, she said. I'm not here to hurt you. I just want to talk. Leo stayed silent. Dr. Hannah sat across from him. She showed him a picture on her tablet. It was a scan of the alien girl, the glowing mud on her body marked in red. This isn't dirt, she said. It's not even organic in the normal way. It's something alive, but not fully. Leo leaned forward. Then what is it? We think it's a symbiotic life form, she explained. It lives with her, not on her. Maybe it protects her, maybe it's part of her body. We don't know yet. Leo remembered the spark he felt when he touched her. Like an electric pulse. Not painful, just alive. She wasn't trying to escape, Leo said slowly. She was scared. Dr. Hannah looked at him closely. Did she say anything? Leo hesitated. She spoke, but not out loud. It was in my mind. Dr. Hannah didn't laugh. She simply nodded, serious. We've heard of this before, she said quietly. Some alien species use telepathy, especially when their mouths don't speak our language. You might be compatible. Compatible? Leo frowned. With her. Your brainwaves matched hers in the scan. Leo didn't know what to say. Dr. Hannah stood up. She's back in containment. We sedated her. But we need your help, Leo. We think you might be the only one she trusts. Later that day, Leo was brought back to the lab. This time, the room was colder. The pod was repaired, sealed again. The girl was inside, sleeping. Her skin still glowed. But now, the mud on her body was changing, moving slowly, like it was breathing. Leo stepped closer. His heart beat faster. Suddenly, her eyes opened. Not afraid, not angry, just watching him. Hi, Leo whispered. You remember me? She didn't blink. Then, in his head, they want to cut me, study me, but they don't understand. Leo swallowed. Understand what? This is not dirt. It's a memory. My people wore this to carry their past. Their language, our history is written in it. Leo stared at the glowing mud on her body. It wasn't just alive. It was her culture. They don't know, he said softly. They think it's a parasite. She nodded. They fear what they do not know. Leo looked at the guards behind the glass wall. Can you show me more? What's written there? The girl slowly raised her hand. The glowing mud on her arm shifted, revealing small light patterns, symbols. They floated in the air. Leo gasped. They looked familiar, like ancient letters. Somehow he could almost read them. Dr. Hannah's voice came through the speaker. Leo, what are you seeing? Leo spoke without thinking. It's a message, he said. It says, we are not your enemy. We come with fire, but only to survive. Everyone in the lab froze. You can read it? Dr. Hannah asked, shocked. I think so, Leo said. It feels like I've seen it in dreams. Or maybe she's helping me understand. The girl looked into his eyes. You are different. Not like them. That is why I spoke to you. Back in his room that night, Leo couldn't sleep. He kept thinking about her. Her eyes. Her voice in his mind. She wasn't just a test subject. She was someone. And they were treating her like a thing. He made a decision. Whatever she was, whatever danger she might bring, he would protect her. Even if it meant breaking every rule on the station. The lights in the station never truly turned off. Even at night, a cold, white glow stayed on in the halls, as if the place didn't want anyone to rest. Leo sat in the dark corner of his small room, staring at his hands. He could still feel it, the warmth of her skin, the strange energy when she looked at him, the way her voice whispered into his mind. He knew her name now, Elora. Not just Subject X-17. Not just some alien creature in a pod. She had a name, a mind, a memory, and they were about to rip her apart. Next morning, Leo received a silent message. Report to Observation Deck 5. Do not speak. Do not interfere. He had a bad feeling. When he arrived, the deck was already full scientists, officers, and quiet guards lining the walls. Thick glass separated them from the lab chamber below. Inside the chamber, Elora. She stood alone, her wrists bound by glowing restraints. Her head was down. Her glowing skin was dimmer now, as if she were tired or hiding. Dr. Hannah stood beside Leo. She didn't look pleased. They've decided to run more tests, she said softly. They want to know how her body heals, how her skin glows, how that memory dirt reacts to pain. Leo's jaw clenched. They're going to hurt her? Hannah didn't answer. Inside the lab, a man in a white suit approached Elora. He pressed something on a tablet. Suddenly, the restraints glowed brighter, sending sharp pulses through Elora's arms. She flinched but didn't scream. The mud-like substance on her body reacted instantly. It rose like armor, shielding her skin. Symbols began to flash in the air, spinning fast, like warnings. The lead scientist frowned. Interesting. The living substance protects her from harm. What if we increase the charge? No, Leo whispered. But the room didn't listen. The charge increased. Elora dropped to one knee, the glowing mud now sparking like broken stars. Her face twisted, not in pain, but in fear. And still, she didn't scream. She just looked up, straight at Leo. And for a second, everything stopped. Her voice entered his mind again. Weak, broken, but clear. Why are they doing this? I trusted you. Leo's heart cracked. He slammed his fist against the glass. Stop it. You're torturing her. The officer beside him turned. Stand down, janitor. I'm not just a janitor, Leo growled. She's not just an alien. Below, Elora collapsed. But before anyone could react, the lab room lights blinked. Once, twice, then completely off. Emergency lights flashed red. Warning alarms began to scream. Unknown energy surge detected in lab chamber. Evacuate immediately. The glass fogged up. Then a pulse. A soundless shockwave burst from Elora's body. The glass cracked. Every screen in the room went dark. People screamed. Scientists ran. Leo stood frozen, watching symbols rise from her skin again. This time faster, brighter, forming a kind of holographic language that floated in the air above her. Then Elora stood. No restraints. The mud armor covered her shoulders and arms like a living shield. Her hair floated, glowing faintly again. She looked around, then locked eyes with Leo once more. I will not be a lab rat. Her voice echoed inside his head. Help me, or leave me, but don't watch me suffer. The emergency doors sealed. Soldiers moved in. Leo made his choice. He ran. He didn't run away. He ran down into the core levels of the station. Into the maintenance shafts he knew better than anyone. If they were going to trap her, they'd do it in the power grid or the oxygen control levels. And he had the keys to those places. He didn't have a plan, just purpose. He reached a dark corner where no cameras worked, a place forgotten by engineers. Minutes later, a soft hum filled the space. A glowing figure appeared. Elora. She wasn't floating. She was walking, breathing heavily, holding her side. She looked tired. Real. Are you hurt? Leo asked. She nodded slowly. I used too much energy. I didn't want to hurt anyone. Just stop them. Leo opened a supply locker and pulled out a warm cloth. He offered it to her. She stared at it, then at him. You still care, she said. I never stopped, he replied. She sat down, letting the glowing mud pull back into her skin. Leo noticed that the light inside her wasn't just for defense. It pulsed like a heartbeat, a soul. Why me? He asked. Elora looked at him gently. Because you didn't see a monster. You saw someone worth saving. And for the first time, Leo believed her. She wasn't dangerous. She was hunted. And now they were both running. The station was no longer quiet. Sirens cried through the halls like lost ghosts. Lights flickered between white and red. Somewhere above, guards shouted orders and boots thundered across metal floors. But in the old vent tunnels beneath the power core, it was silent. Leo sat across from Elora, both of them hidden behind old storage pipes and dust-covered crates. She had curled into herself, her glowing skin now dim and pale. Even the living mud on her body seemed tired. She was dying. Not from wounds. From fear. From being hunted. From being alone. Leo didn't speak for a while. He just watched her. And when he finally whispered, it was more to himself than to her. I can't fix this place. But maybe I can fix what they've done to you. Elora lifted her eyes. She looked so human in that moment. Not glowing, not alien, just afraid. They will never let me leave, she said in his mind. They want to keep me here, forever, like a weapon or a cure. Leo blinked. A cure. She nodded slowly. Her voice was quiet in his thoughts. The mud on my body, it fights sickness. On my planet, we used it to protect our people. But when humans found me, they saw something to control. Leo clenched his jaw. They want to use you. For war, maybe. Or money. I don't want to be used, she said. I just want to live. Leo stood. Then we're getting out of here. The escape plan wasn't simple. Couldn't be. Leo only had access to maintenance routes. Secret paths for janitors and engineers rarely noticed. But he knew the schedules. He knew where the cameras blinked out. He knew how long the airlocks stayed open. And more importantly, he had a stolen clearance badge from the last guard who chased them. Together, they moved like shadows, through broken ducts and dripping pipes. Elora was weak, but when Leo stumbled or lost balance, she touched his shoulder. And the glow returned, steady and warm. You give me strength too, she said once. Leo didn't reply. He just smiled. Hours later, they reached the quarantine wing. This was the first part of the plan and the riskiest. Leo knew what was kept there. Alien samples, strange spores, and experimental tech. But more importantly, EVA suits, spacewalk armor. If they got one, they could get to the exterior launch pod. Wait here, Leo whispered. I'll grab what we need. Elora nodded and vanished into the shadows. Inside the room, Leo moved fast. He opened a locker, pulled out 2 compressed suits and a small oxygen tank. His hands were shaking, but his mind was clear. He almost made it, until, stop right there. A voice, sharp, familiar, Dr. Hannah. She was holding a tranquilizer gun. Leo, don't move. Leo turned slowly, the suit in one hand, guilt on his face. You lied to me, she said. You said you just wanted to help her understand. But you're helping her escape. Leo didn't try to deny it. She's not a threat, Hannah. You know that. You've seen her. She healed those sick crewmen last week. Didn't she? Dr. Hannah's grip on the weapon loosened slightly. Her eyes flickered. She saved them, Leo continued. She helped. And you locked her up for it. Silence. Then, a voice filled the air. Not from Hannah. From everywhere. Containment breach detected in Medical Bay. Level 4 virus leak. Emergency lockdown activated. Leo's eyes widened. What? Behind the wall, warning lights turned orange. A thick gas hissed through vents, sterilization fog. Then he realized It wasn't a virus. It was Elora. She had triggered the alarm, not to hurt anyone but to block the doors, to trap the guards, to give Leo a chance. Dr. Hannah covered her face with her sleeve. "You'll die out there, Leo. The outer pod is sealed." "Not for long," he said and ran. In the hallway, Elora was waiting. "You set off the alarm," he panted. She nodded, eyes glowing again. "I won't be locked in again. Not by anyone." They ran together through the chaos. Guards were confused. Some were trapped by the false virus seal. Some were shouting about an alien breach. Most didn't know who to chase. Perfect. The final hallway led to a narrow shaft, the emergency launch pod, used only in disasters. Could fit two. Maybe. Elora looked back. "They're coming." Leo pulled the last lever. "Then let's fly." The pod doors opened. A cold gust of recycled air hit them. They stepped in. Just before the hatch closed, Elora touched the control panel. Symbols glowed under her fingers, the same symbols Leo had seen in the lab. "This ship," she said, "was built from stolen alien parts. It answers to me." Leo blinked. "You're full of surprises." The pod launched, a flash of silver into the stars. Behind them, Station Echo 9 shrank into darkness. But this wasn't the end. This was only the start of their journey. Because Elora wasn't just running from humans, something else was coming. And it was worse than anything Earth had seen. Space was quiet. Too quiet. The escape pod floated between stars like a lost speck of dust, far from any signal, far from any sound. Inside, the air was thin, the lights dim, and the silence between Leo and Elora felt heavier than gravity. Neither of them had spoken in hours. Leo sat by the viewport, staring into the endless black. His hands still shook from adrenaline, his mind racing with questions. They had escaped. But now what? Elora sat near the back, wrapped in a silver blanket. Her glow had faded again, leaving only faint light on her arms and temples, like dying embers. Then finally, she spoke. "You think I ran because of humans?" Leo looked over. She wasn't asking. She was correcting him. He nodded slowly. "You didn't." Elora's eyes lifted toward the ceiling of the pod. "No. I ran before they found me. Earth Station was never my goal. It was only a place to hide." Leo sat forward, heart thudding. "Hide from what?" Elora's voice came into his head like a memory, a soft hum from a dark place. "I am not the only one with this glow. On my world, we all shared it, the living mud, the ancient light. But something went wrong." She touched her chest. The skin there pulsed faintly. "It started with a sickness, a crack in the light. Our memories began to rot." Leo frowned. "You mean like a virus?" Elora nodded. "But not like yours. This one doesn't make you weak. It makes you forget who you are. It rewrites you, turns you into something new." She raised her arm. The glowing mud shifted, revealing a mark beneath it, a scar shaped like a spiral. It started spreading, fast. Those infected changed. They still looked like us. But they weren't. No thoughts, no feeling, just glowing shells, moving with one mind. Leo's breath caught in his throat. "You're talking about a hive." Elora nodded. "A hive that learns, that spreads, that hungers." The pod lights flickered. Leo checked the screen. No fuel left. No signals nearby. Just floating. "Are they following us?" he asked quietly. Elora looked at him. "Not yet," she said. "But they will. They always find the light." Leo leaned back. "So you're the last of your kind?" She hesitated, then whispered, "No, not the last. Just the only one who remembers who she is." Leo felt a lump rise in his throat. He wanted to say something, anything, but no words felt right. Instead, he said, "You're safe now. I won't let anyone hurt you." Elora looked down. For the first time, she smiled. But it was small, sad. "No one can protect me from what's coming." Later, while Leo slept, Elora stood near the pod window. Her reflection stared back at her, pale, glowing, fragile. Then her skin began to shimmer. Not just with light, with symbols. New ones. Not like before. These were broken, fragmented. Her fingers moved across her arm, and the mud beneath her skin shifted like sand in wind. Suddenly, her eyes flashed. A vision surged through her mind. Fire. Screaming. 100 glowing bodies in chains. One of them, taller, stronger, burned with red light instead of blue. The hive leader. He was no longer on her world. He was searching for her and something else. When Leo woke up, he saw Elora holding a small device. A beacon from the emergency kit. She had rewired it, modified it, and made it blink with alien code. "What's that?" he asked, rubbing his eyes. "A message," she said. "I'm calling someone." Leo tensed. "Who?" Elora looked at him carefully. "The only person who ever tried to help me escape before you." Silence returned to the pod. But it didn't last. A sharp beep echoed through the walls. The console lit up. A ship was approaching. Fast. Leo stared at the screen. "Is that friendly?" Elora's face changed. Not fear. Recognition. "It's her." The pod trembled as the other ship connected. The airlock opened with a hiss. Smoke filled the cabin, and a figure stepped through. Tall, in dark armor, face hidden behind a helmet with blue lights. The figure raised a hand toward Elora. Leo stepped in front of her. "Wait. Who are you?" The figure removed her helmet. She was alien, but not like Elora. Her face was half machine. One eye glowed. The other was missing. Metal plates covered her cheek and neck. But her voice was calm. "I'm not your enemy," she said. "But we don't have time. They're already close." Elora stepped forward. "You found me." The woman nodded. "And I'll help you finish what we started." Leo looked between them, confused. "What did you start?" The woman's gaze turned cold. "A war," she said. Then the screen behind them lit up red. Multiple signals. Ships. Dozens. And they were glowing red. Like blood. The outpost was quiet, but it was the kind of quiet before a storm. The lights flickered. The old metal walls groaned softly, like they remembered war. Outside, the snow fell heavier now, coating the broken antennas and half-buried machines like a white funeral cloth. Ray sat near the entrance with his rifle resting across his knees. His jaw was tight, his wounds wrapped. Syrah stood across from him, her daughter Lura asleep in a corner, wrapped in blankets, hidden under a table near the heater. Neither of them spoke. They didn't need to. The silence between them had changed. It was no longer the silence of fear. It was the silence before action. Ray finally spoke. His voice was low. "They'll come in machines. Armored carriers. They'll scan for heat and movement. First a drone, then boots." Syrah tilted her head. "How long?" Ray looked at his broken watch. "Hours. Maybe less." Syrah nodded. She was not a soldier. Not like him. But she had lost everything. She had survived the frozen plains. And she had learned. They moved together now, no need to explain. Ray showed her the weak walls, the old traps, the escape paths. Syrah found the fuel cells, working wires, and strange metal parts. She asked questions in simple words. He answered in nods and signs. Together, they built small fire bombs, pressure triggers, smoke traps. Every moment mattered. Every second was a gift they might not get again. Then, they rested for a moment. Ray sat beside Syrah in the old control room. He opened a small black box. Inside, an old chip. A memory card. "Earth," he said softly. "Before everything." Syrah looked at it. "Your home." Ray nodded. "It was green," he said. "Warm. Oceans. Trees. People. Some good, some bad." She was quiet. Then she said, "My people think all humans are evil." Ray glanced at her. "And you?" She thought for a moment. Looked at her sleeping child. Looked at Ray. "Not all," she said. Ray gave a tired smile. "Same with us. They told us aliens were monsters. That we had to fight. Had to win. I believed it." He looked down. "Until I saw the truth. Until I saw them crying. Just like us." Outside, a sound. Low. Mechanical. A hum. Ray froze. He rushed to the panel, opened the live camera feed. A small scout drone hovered in the sky. Red lights scanning. Behind it, movement in the snow. Ray's face hardened. They're here. Sira didn't ask questions. She ran to Lura, kissed her forehead, whispered soft words, wrapped her tightly in the coat. Then she grabbed the bag of supplies and pressed it into Ray's chest. You take her, she said. Ray looked shocked. No, I'm not leaving you. You go. You are fast. I stay. I slow them. No, he snapped. I won't do that. You can run. I cannot. I am mother. I stay. Ray grabbed her shoulders. We fight. Together. Or we don't fight at all. She looked into his eyes. Not as an alien. Not as a stranger. But as someone who mattered. Then she nodded. Together. Outside, the wind picked up. A drop ship appeared through the clouds. Black, wide, like a dark wing of death. Its engines shook the snow. It landed hard. Doors opened. Figures stepped out, tall, armored humans. Their weapons glowed with blue light. Their helmets hid their faces. But not their mission. Wipe the area. Secure the tech. Kill everything that moves. Inside, Ray and Sira took their positions. She held a fire stick rigged to explode with pressure. He watched the monitors. One soldier stepped on the trap. Boom! A flash of fire. Screams. Smoke. The soldiers fired blindly. Sira threw another charge. Ducked. Rolled. Her heart beat like thunder. But she did not fall. Ray fired from the back, clean shots, one by one. But they kept coming. More boots. More fire. Sira was cornered. Two soldiers broke through the side door. They aimed. Then a blur. Ray tackled one. Fought hand to hand. A blade. A scream. Blood. He was hurt again. Falling. The other soldier raised his gun at Sira. She closed her eyes. Bang. A shot rang out. When she opened her eyes, the soldier was down. Lura stood behind him, holding Ray's sidearm, her hands shaking. But she had saved her mother. After the battle, there was silence. Smoke filled the outpost. The snow outside was red in places. Ray lay on the ground, bleeding again. Sira held his hand. You okay? She asked. Ray coughed, smiled weakly. Still breathing. She smiled too. Lura knelt beside them. Her eyes were wide, but strong. Ray looked at her. You're brave, he whispered. Like your mother. Then he looked at Sira. I told you once. Not all humans are the same. Sira nodded. And not all aliens are weak. They all looked toward the mountain now. A new future was waiting, but only if they could reach it. The pod drifted toward a forgotten moon. It was cold, cracked, and dead, the perfect hiding place. But there was no hiding now. Elora knew. Leo felt it too. The hive was coming. Not just ships. Not just hunters. The leader. He had followed the trail, not of fuel or metal, but of memory. The ancient light that lived inside Elora. The last unbroken spark of her kind. And now, Leo carried it too. They landed hard, skidding across ice and stone. The pod systems shut down completely. Leo helped Elora to her feet. Her glow had returned, but it flickered like a candle in wind. He looked at his own arms, still marked by the living mud. The alien symbols had spread, not in a harmful way but like veins of light. He didn't feel fear. He felt ready. What do we do now? He asked. Elora looked toward the sky. We stop running. They set up a small energy dome near the edge of a crater. From there, they could see the stars and the hive ships, growing closer, red like fireflies swarming toward a single flame. Elora turned to him. I was born to carry memory, she said. But maybe I wasn't meant to carry it alone. Leo stepped closer. Then let's share the weight. She placed her hand on his chest. A pulse of warmth spread between them. The light inside her entered him fully now. Not just symbols, but thoughts, images. Her childhood, her planet, the fall. And then something new. Hope. The ground began to shake. A ship descended, not flying, but folding space around itself. A crack in the sky. Then it landed. Wrong. Heavy. Breathing. A living temple of bone and glowing red tissue. The hive leader stepped out. He was massive, over 3 meters tall. His body was made of armor and rot. His face was a smooth mask of light. No eyes, no mouth, only burning. Elora stepped forward, weak but standing tall. The leader didn't speak. He didn't need to. A voice entered both their minds. You carry what belongs to us. Return it. Leo stepped beside her. No. The leader tilted his head. Then you will become us. Elora raised her hand. The mud-armored symbols flared. Leo's body pulsed with the same light. Together they reached out. The battle wasn't like war. No guns. No blades. Only light. Memory against memory. The hive attacked with noise. Crashing waves of broken thoughts. Forgotten history. Erased names. Felt like drowning in silence. Leo screamed. Elora held his hand. Focus, she shouted in his mind. Not on the pain, on what we still are. They pushed back. And from their skin came not weapons, but stories. Images of Elora's people. Their music. Their children. Their sky. Real memories. The hive shrieked, recoiling, as if truth burned. The leader lunged. Leo stepped in front. The hive's power struck him like a meteor. He dropped. The ground cracked beneath him. Elora screamed, but it wasn't pain. It was rage. Her glow exploded. Every memory in her body, every ancient voice, every song of her people, rushed into the open. Not as defense, as a final spark. Boom! Light swallowed everything. Silence followed. Long, cold, still. Then, a breath. Leo gasped. He opened his eyes. His body ached, but he was alive. He sat up, looking around the crater. The hive ship? Gone. The leader? Dust in the wind. The sky above? Clear again. Elora? He called. No answer. He stood, limping, calling again. Elora! Then he saw her, half buried in snow, still glowing faintly. He ran, dropped to his knees, pulled her up. She opened her eyes. You're okay, she whispered. Leo laughed through tears. You saved me. You saved us. She smiled. No, we saved each other. Days later, a human rescue ship found them. They were silent at first. Shocked. Leo, the janitor, had returned. Not alone. And not the same. His body carried light now. So did his voice. They didn't go back to Earth. Not right away. Leo and Elora chose to travel. To find the last traces of her people, scattered among forgotten stars. To protect the spark. To build something new. Together. In the dark silence of space, two lights moved side by side. And for the first time, the stars watched not a war, but a beginning.